Hi, I'm Ken.
And I'm Glenn, and together we are
Ken,
and Glenn. We do this clever little online show called the
Ken.
And Glenn Show. And right now, it is Wednesday evening, March the 6th, and you are watching the
Ken.
And Glenn Show. And now, your host, Ken Walls.
And Glenn Morshower. Here
Hey,
we
Ken,
are.
good seeing you today. Good to have lunch with you. And most of all, what a blessing it was to stand by our buddy Nick's side
Oh my
less
God.
than 24 hours after a massive surgery.
Massive, like one of probably the most dangerous, biggest surgeries anybody could have. And to walk in there, find out that they've taken the ventilator out, he's sitting up in his bed and talking.
Yeah,
And
well, Nick is trying his best to treat it like a haircut. You know, you and I would be freaking out, and Nick's like, let's just go to the barbershop and get this knocked off.
I mean, seriously.
You have your chest opened, you have your heart set aside, you have your lungs
That's crazy.
probed into, and basically take the interior of your lungs to the car wash, clean it all out, get rid of any obstruction inside, and then sew you back up.
And Theodora is watching. Charla is Theodora. She said,
Hello,
"I miss
Theodora,
you
and
so
hello,
much."
Charla. Hi,
Miss
hi.
you too. There's Charla. There's Patricia Gigich. I love that woman. I love Charla. I love everybody watching. So
all
dude,
you need to know that we saw Nick today. We actually
we
saw
did.
him. We got the good report yesterday, but he was looking like one would expect somebody to look, having gone through that. And then today is a brand new day.
Dude, it was 20 hours after they finished operating on him that you and I were standing next to his bedside talking to him.
Yes.
And another thing that I want to point out is you're wearing an amazing hat.
Well, and I'm going to tell you why, Ken, because you may not know, but there is an upcoming event on April the 6th and 7th called the
Ken
And Glenn Show.
Yes.
And I'm excited. I have a feeling my buddy Ken is also excited. I should probably go ahead and ask him. Ken, are you excited?
If I was any more excited, there would be several of me, and the world definitely couldn't handle that.
Hey, look at this. We've got Carolyn Chase watching,
which
means her husband Jack is also watching, because I have this hunch that they're still together. And that means that Susan Knight is there watching.
Yes.
And they're all hanging out tonight together in Salt Lake City.
Amazing. Jose Garza is watching.
And
look at that, Jeff Christensen.
Oh, hey, Jeff. Good to see you, man.
Love that dude.
And look at this. Dude. We probably should have opened like that with a tight shot on the hat going, "Hi, I'm Ken." Let's try it. Ready?
I don't know if I can, but okay.
You don't have to do the controls. Just talk.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ken.
And I'm Glenn. And together we are
Ken
and Glenn. We do this clever little online show called the
Ken
and Glenn Show. And you know what? April 6th and 7th, we're going to be doing it live right here in Dallas, Texas. And you are invited to be a part of that.
That's right. Oh my God. Look. There is Anessia.
Oh, wow.
She loves it when I call her Anessia.
She said, do y'all ever stop? Do we stop what? Do we stop feeling good? Or do we stop living? We love each other.
We're brothers. And we love life, and we love helping others, and we love, anytime I call her Anessia, she calls me Kenneth.
Kenneth.
Kind of rude.
Kenneth. I love that
So-
she was shushing us both today, going, "Shh, don't tell anybody how we met. Shh, don't."
I know.
It was very covert. It was ask me at another time.
I know.
Probably while under the influence of alcohol. Who knows?
That's funny.
Anesia, we are wrapping our continued prayerful arms around you and your family, and obviously specifically targeting Nick with our love and healing.
God.
And he has a global prayer circle,
Yeah.
global prayer circle, which
millions
is
and
phenomenal.
millions.
Phenomenal.
Millions.
Thank you for every conscious being that contributed your love. And I want to say something about that. We're not, when we create a prayer circle, I want to be clear about what it is and what it isn't. Ken and I, by the way, you may not know this. We don't plan our evenings. We want to talk about our upcoming event, but right now Nick is very much front and center in our thing. So we're talking about Nick right now. We'll get to the event here shortly. Did you see that? That's
Granny's listening. Hush, Granny is listening.
but here's the deal. I want to make sure that everyone is clear in terms of what I believe and support with regard to prayer, which I'm a person who has prayer, but I don't believe in a God that accepts petitions.
Hold on. Do you know who this is? Jerry Kneller?
I have a feeling you're about to explain to me.
Kneller.
Oh, wow. Chad, as in Chad Kneller?
Yes, that's his wife.
Oh, well, hi, Jerry.
Hey,
welcome.
Dude, she never accepted my friend request.
Well, and I feel certain it was personal, Ken, don't you? Would you imagine that was an intentional choice on
I'm
the part of her
like,
life?
okay, fine. His better half.
I'm pretty sure Jerry's not the only person who's actively practiced avoiding you.
Wow. Okay, thanks for stopping by, Glenn. So that was Glenn Morshower, everybody.
I don't know why I let you have control over this. You have the master board. It's so unfair. You have the master board, and I have basically nothing. I have just a camera in front of me with zero options. So let me say this, Ken, about prayer.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That I don't believe in a God that would say, well, I'll take care of Nick as long as you have more than 48 signatures on the prayer petition. But if you have less than 48, I just can't respond because his popularity is not high enough. I just don't believe in that kind of a God.
Oh my
God. I believe that the purpose of prayer is to align the love and the light that all of our hearts are filled with, that were granted to us at birth by our Creator, and we are unifying that light. That's what we're doing, and it's very powerful. It's very powerful. It is so laser-like when people join hands for a common intention, and that's what prayer is. I don't think we're knocking on the door of God and saying, hello, could you take care of this matter? And I want to tell you why, Ken. It's because if we're doing that, it shows fear that we're afraid if we don't do it, that God may have had alternate plans.
Come on with it.
And my belief is that, people who say, please take care of my family, I want to portray God right now in this moment saying, did you think I had alternate plans? Did you think that I had planned to harm your family? So I think it's fear-based to be concerned that something might happen if we don't. And Nick is pure love, and Nick has so many people rallying around him that, somebody said exactly. That's really nice. It's nice to hear that support, But Nick is really astounding everyone with his rallying spirit. And Nick, I don't expect that you're necessarily watching this tonight, but you will at some point. Okay, well, at some point he will be watching. And if he's not,
I'm a little bit offended.
Okay.
I'm just
How much time do you need to get over it?
This is the thing, dude. And you and I talk about this all the time. I 1000% agree with you. I showed the video during my talk at our last event of Reverend Ike, and Reverend Ike who's internationally famous and the whole thing. And For those of you that don't know who Reverend Ike is, wow, he's just so. Reverend Ike said, Jesus stood with the fishes and the loaves, and he didn't ask God to help him feed the thousands of people. He didn't say, God, please help me. That's not how you pray.
He
That's
pretty
not
much
how
just simply declared a thank you.
he said. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Father. Thank you. And the people were fed. And and Reverend Ike in that clip says, he didn't say, gimme, Father, gimme. He said, thank you. And that, I truly believe, combined with the positive energy and the prayer, and it's a global energetic movement. I believe that Nick, because if you watched the video he put out the night before he went in for his surgery, he just said, I'm filled with an immense amount of gratitude. I'm so thankful. And that's how he went into it. And now here you and I are today, standing at his bedside 20 hours after they stopped or finished the operation, and the dude is sitting up in bed, no ventilator, and talking to us and actually laughing.
Yeah. Well, we were doing our best to not get him to laugh, because
that's true.
We didn't want his sternum to hurt. Right. We're very scientific at the Ken and Glenn Show. The sternum, of course, is the breastbone right here. If anyone's taking notes at home that wants to write down, I own an Atlanta hospital. I don't know how many of you knew that, but on the show The Resident, I own an Atlanta-based hospital. So I picked up a lot of medical jargon over the last 6 years on Fox Television. Nick, bottom line, we love you. Yes. We're grateful for you, and we're grateful for your healing that is occurring as we speak. We're grateful that every correct doctor was there on the scene, every correct surgeon, and the people that are involved in the recovery aspect of your path. We're grateful that all those people are there by divine appointment, and Amen. You are in good hands with Allstate.
Dude, look what Anessa says. She says, yes, I thanked God multiple times today and yesterday. And, I was there yesterday when the surgeon came out, and thank you, Anessa, for tolerating my presence. Nick is one of my best friends, and I had to be there, and thank you for letting me be there. But the surgeon came out, showed us pictures of all the clots they removed.
And, I never got to see those pictures. I want to see them.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you will eventually, but he, it was just amazing what happened. I mean, and Anessa went back to see Nick in ICU before they ever woke him up. And it messed her up there for a minute. She was really taken back. And I mean, you cannot be prepared for that.
No, well, that's not the appearance you want to see your loved one in. That's not the modality you want them in.
No.
But, he had to go through that in order to look like he did today. And tomorrow he'll look better and better and better and better.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
There's something very powerful, Ken, about what we're talking about. You know how I feel about the phrase grant me or give me. So I want to use this as an opportunity to share this with our audience, assuming that our hearts are wide open tonight. And I do assume that.
Please share this out. I'm sorry to interrupt you, dude.
No, it's
everybody
okay.
Share this out. This is going to be powerful.
So, that I'm a fan of the Serenity Prayer, but I'm not a fan of the opening 3 words of the Serenity Prayer. The rest of the prayer I love, but the opening 3 words are God grant me. God grant me. God grant me. And for people who go to weekly meetings, or sometimes even multiple meetings in a week, that prayer is prayed again and again and again. So at what point are you going to accept your request? At what point are you going to accept that something has occurred? Because if you keep saying, God grant me, then you either believe in one of 2 things. One, you believe that your prayer was never heard, which is why you're saying, God grant me. Or you think that we have some sort of cosmic jokester that's running the universe who would grant you serenity on Monday and promptly take it back on Tuesday so that you could feel pitiful and wounded and need to ask for it all over again.
Come on with it.
Really think about that. If you're
Yep.
constantly saying, God grant me, and here's the context, Ken, I've actually spoken to large groups of people, including in churches. I have given this exact message that, for example, imagine yourself in a marriage, a friendship, a whatever. And Ken, I'll even do it in our friendship because we certainly love each other and we say that openly to one another. But imagine this, and I'm really asking you to imagine it. Imagine if every day, because we talk most every day.
Yeah.
Most every day, I talk to you more than anyone other than Carolyn. How's that make you feel? I do. We talk
I'm a little
every
sad
day.
that she gets more talk
That she
time,
gets in the way. I understand. But the reality is, think about this, because I'm getting ready to intentionally annoy you. All right? Here's the annoyance. What if every day I began our encounter, whether it was on the phone or it's in person, and I said, Ken, grant me your love. Ken, grant me your love. Ken, grant me your love. By day 4, you've had enough and you're not angry at me, but you're going to want to pull me aside and say, Glenn, seriously, you got to stop this. You got to stop this because I love you.
Right.
I've loved you for a long time.
Right.
We are brothers. We are friends. And it's on you to accept that.
Yes.
It is not on me for you to continue to say to me, grant me your love. Now watch what happens here, everybody. Watch what happens. When I change that from grant me your love to think about this, thank you for your love, Ken. I promise you, if you say thank you for your love, Glenn, to me, you can say that as much as you want.
Yep.
And every time I go, buddy, I love you. Of course, you're welcome. It's an honor to love you. It's an honor to be in this friendship. Yeah. So grant me gets old real fast, but thank you never gets old.
Jeff says, grant me a break.
Right. And I wish more people had some sort of pastoring or mentoring that would help them understand that we've got to stop with the constant grant me requests as though we're talking to some sort of grand DJ in the sky, and instead simply say thank you.
Yep.
Right.
Dude. Yes. And
thank
listen,
you for the protection that has been shown.
This has to be Josh. Grant me a working truck. Duty calls. Love you both. Thanks for being a light. Love you, Nessa. Love to Nick. And I'm gonna try to run down there tomorrow. And
Vanessa, we're sending you hugs, dear. It was great seeing you today. Great to hug you.
Yes.
Let me give you a Josh update. Are you ready for your Josh update?
Yeah, Josh.
So
Mandraker.
We get back to the house, and Josh and his pretend father, his pretend daddy, his big brother, that would be me. We get down on the street and crawl under his truck because it's high enough to get under it without a jack and not dangerous. It's only dangerous to go under a truck or a car if it's up on a jack, but we can't get his car.
Or if it's moving at a high rate of speed.
That's also a truth, Ken. But we couldn't even get his car up on ramps because it was stuck in reverse. And when it's in reverse, you can't start the car. So Josh came over to the house last night, and when he pulled into the driveway, something happened to the shifter, and all of a sudden it's stuck in reverse. And he sat there kind of wondering what to do about it. And finally, he just shut it down and left it. For whatever reason, it was still able to be physically pushed. So we pushed it into position where it wasn't blocking the driveway. And then right after we saw you and we had lunch, we came home, got under the truck, and followed the line, the linkage, all the way to the very tail end of where that cable goes, because it was just loose and stuck in reverse. So that's almost certain what it's got to be. Diagnostic for that would suggest it. And sure enough, there it is. The very end of the linkage is just slightly bent over, completely disconnected. So what did we do? we broke out some wire and some wire clippers and got up, put it back together, and looped it around and double sealed it so that when he tried to pull it off, even tried to disconnect it, because I wanted to know he was safe.
Yeah.
Josh wired it up and then was pulling at it, and it held tight, and he got in his truck and drove home. Total cost, nothing.
Wow. I love what Joe Ingram said. Some people are stuck in reverse.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
Ain't that the truth? Look,
Yeah.
Jury says, speak as though, and by the way, she just sent me a friend request and I already accepted.
Beautiful.
So we're friends now. I've been friends with Chad for years. I don't even know how long.
Call these things which are not as though they are.
Romans 4:17.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want that framed. I'm going to put that on my wall. I'm going to hang it on my
Well,
wall.
what you're talking about is expectancy.
Yes.
What is your level of expectancy? We cover this in the program, by the way. We'll be talking about it more on April the 6th and 7th. But realistically, tonight, I would ask all of you to ask yourselves, what is your expectancy of life, of your life? What is your expectancy with regard to every different category throughout your life? What is your expectancy? Because you're going to wind up getting behind whatever your expectancy is, because you're going to create the outcome that you expect, not the outcome that you necessarily hope, wish, or want, but the one you actually expect. So that's why, and anyone who's ever doing coaching on manifestation is going to want to make sure that they're talking with you about altering your expectancy to be one that is favorable, instead of, well, I hope things are good. Okay, you hope they're good, but what are you really expecting?
Right.
And I deal with this with actors all the time. I hope it goes well. I mean, I want to move to LA and I hope it goes well. Okay, I hear you. Now tell me about what you expect. You expect to beat this game? Well, and that's when you get the cringe and realize, so we've just identified what your expectancy is.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about April 6th and 7th. Nick, we love you.
Yes, we do. And he's
tell them what they've won, Ken.
What they've won?
You know.
Well, they've
won. How they say that on talk shows? Tell them what they've won, Ken.
They've won. Everybody watching has won an opportunity to come and hang out with Glenn and I for a couple of days at our next event right here in Dallas, Texas, April the 6th and 7th. The VIPs, anyone that signs up for VIP, will be able to hang out with us Friday night at the reception for VIPs and dinner. And we're going to have some fun, do something. I don't want to disclose what that is yet, but we're going to do something really cool and fun. And there's only 20 available. Well, there's only like 13 or 14 of those left now of the VIPs. So get a ticket. And it's only like our last event was $997 to be there. This one, you can get a general admission ticket for $497. Come out and hang out with us for 2 solid days, Saturday all day, Sunday all day. We're going to have a lot of fun. We have
Ken, let me make sure everyone understands this real quickly, that when we're dropping it from $997, it's not that we're going to be half as good.
No.
I just want to make sure everyone knows.
Probably be double as good because we're going to have a lot more people there. But the other thing is we have the voice of the Dallas Cowboys, Mr. Brad Sham.
Brad Sham,
Brad Sham, big time. He is a legend with the. In fact, okay, so I just got to tell you this. Glenn took me to the playoff game with the Green Bay Packers here in Dallas.
Well, what was supposed to have been a playoff game.
Yeah, it was not a playoff game. It was horrible. But anyway, so we go and we get to sit in Brad Sham's media booth. He literally has a shrine that they built. It's his own humongous booth where he broadcasts the show. And oh my God, it was unbelievable. So Brad is coming. He's going to talk about success and perseverance and all of that stuff. And he's had a 43+ year career with the Cowboys. Amazing. Travels the world with the Dallas Cowboys. Everywhere they go, He goes with them. It's
That's true.
unbelievable.
Ken, I don't know that you knew this, but Brad is Jewish, and sham is the Hebrew word for shrine.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm totally making that up.
That was Glenn Morshower.
I love your disapproving looks.
What the
Hey, drop a 1 if you would like to see Ken and I together more often. You know, we haven't done a lot of Ken and Glenn shows recently, but we still love each other. We laugh and we play. How many of you would like to see more of Ken and Glenn?
Dude, you know, if somebody followed us around with a hidden camera when we're out, oh my God.
Look at that. Earl Browning the third.
EB3
Earl the Pearl is
house.
watching tonight. Hey, Ken, can we sing to Earl? It was his birthday, March 3rd.
Dude, you know how bad that is on here, though. I mean,
Okay.
I will, but
Is it really? Let's just do it gently. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Earl. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Earl.
were we in sync? I felt like
Not
we
at
were
all,
in
but
sync.
nobody cares.
But we
Nobody-
were on my end.
Okay. Josh is critiquing you, saying, I can't hear you, Ken.
Josh, I have bugs all over my car. I need your help. Josh was with us today, and he was just awkwardly standing there as we're making introductions and saying hi. And Josh, I go, this is Josh, and he comes up and shakes everybody's hand. I go, he's our detail guy. He travels with us everywhere to clean our cars. All right, Glenn, what is that all about, dude?
That's called a condition known as extreme joy, Ken. What do you think of that? Hey, show them what you edited together. Show them our little promo.
Oh yeah. All right.
Bring that
you
heat,
guys
will you?
have, and Josh is going to be at the event too.
That's what rumor indicated.
Yes. Josh, oh my gosh. You guys listen. Josh is a Christian, but don't hold that against him. I'm kidding. That was a joke. It was a joke.
You just alienated most of our audience, Ken. Well done.
I'm a Christian, dude. So look, he is a Christian musician that does what's it called? Secular music.
Sense of humor?
Huh? He does secular
You
music.
said that he does, and I went, does have a sense of humor?
He does. He's funny.
He does. He has a great
So
sense of humor.
he could sing the phone book, and
He's going to, because now he's been hired to come out at the event I'm speaking at, the graduation. You know, I do the annual commencement speech for Platt College, and because he is a mega talent, he has scored the gig of singing the national anthem, Ken, for 9,000 people.
Unbelievably cool. I know. It's freaking amazing. And
Yeah,
Josh,
and then he just scored another one. Like, so his whole life, he's never sung the national anthem to a large group of people. He's never done that. So this is what consciousness does. Yep. So his mind now accepts, wow, I'm good enough to do that, because he gets a booking for 9,000. And within, I think he told me it was like 6 weeks. It might have been 8 weeks. I don't want to misrepresent the truth, but he got offered another gig to be singing the national anthem at another large event. And that's the way it works. Look what happened back. Roger Maris. Does that name mean anyone to anybody? Professional baseball. Set the record in like 1960, or maybe even been 61. It was the early 60s when Roger Maris set the home run record. It was the most it had ever been achieved, 61 home runs in one season. And that record lasted multiple decades. And then all of a sudden it was broken. And it was broken by Mark McGwire. And then all of a sudden, Sammy Sosa does it. Barry Bonds does it. And so this is the way consciousness runs our lives, is the expectancy changed. Check it out. This is really good stuff. The expectancy changed for the societal belief pattern that 61 home runs in a season would never be broken. Never. That had already been decided, and Mark McGwire came along and went, I don't agree with that. And instead, he sets a new record, and bam, Sammy Sosa, bam, Barry Bonds.
What is it?
And that's the way it works with. Sometimes when we see something done, it elevates our sense of estimated habability. Now we see it as habable, and we can jump on board that train.
What is it with all the Rogers? Roger Bannister.
Yes.
Right.
Roger Clemens, the pitcher.
The running thing. It's crazy. The 4-minute mile.
When we agree with someone, we say Roger that.
Now
why don't we say Danny that?
It's getting creepy now.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So here's the deal. I put together a video of some footage from our last event and some upcoming stuff for our next event. And the only way I'm going to show this, I just re-edited it tonight. Only way I'm showing it is if everybody drops a heart in the comment, a heart emoji.
Cool.
Because I really put my heart into it. So I really want to see some. Oh, look at that. Daryl Goldberg is in Vegas at the Bellagio. Daryl. I want to sing the national anthem too, Daryl.
Ask Daryl what he's playing. I'm betting he's playing 40-80 Hold'em. He might be playing 20-40 though. At
Look
the Bellagio.
at all the hearts, dude.
Well, then let's play. Look at this. Mo Pollock is watching from England.
Mo Pollock from across the pond. Yep, he's playing 40-80.
I knew it. And I can even tell you, here's what's really twisted. I can tell you what color of chips are sitting in front of Daryl right now. They are orange colored chips.
Wow.
Let's see if I'm right.
Before I play, well, here I got to get
$10 chips, and they are orange in color at the Bellagio.
This is going to take.
Hi, I'm Ken, and I'm Glenn.
Daryl just said true.
Wow. He said,
oh, he doesn't have enough of them yet.
Not enough. All right. Well, I got a lot of hearts here, so let me play.
Well, let it be. Play the.
Now listen. I'm going to just tell everybody. It's 5 minutes long, so
don't leave.
See the number of people watching. Do not leave. Just watch this.
I'm putting on glasses, Ken, so I can see it really good.
Okay, it's good. Here we go. Cynthia, you're actually on Facebook also. That's amazing.
And Cynthia, we saw Nick today, and he looks great.
Amazing. He's talking.
If Tony the Tiger had been there with us, he would have said he looks great. No.
Here we go. Let me play this. Oh my Lord.
Hi, I'm Ken. And I'm Glenn, and together we are Ken and Glenn. We have this fabulous weekend coming your way, April 6th and 7th, right here in Dallas, Texas. Take a look. I believe the word you chose was abused. You said you were abused as a child. So here's the help I want to give you. No, you weren't. She was. You hear that? You weren't. So as long as you tell the story from I was, you will continue to be. Almost 40 years ago, I stopped using the word goals, and my life showed evidence of this having been an incredibly healthy decision. And I replaced it with the word nature. So for example, let me use it in a sentence. Is it my goal to be a loving man? No, it isn't. It's my nature.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I had the pleasure this weekend of attending this great event called the Momentum Masters, hosted by Ken Walls and Glenn Morshower. I just can't say enough of being in that room around all these humble, kind, amazing people that I met this weekend. It was life-changing. It was worth every penny. The knowledge of these two that they brought over the weekend to all of us was just on a whole nother level. I didn't feel worthy of being in the room with these amazing people. But what I got out of it was that I am worthy. I am every bit of worthy as you are, or anybody that was in that room, of being around these people. So get yourself in the room. Go to these events. I will be there.
Of everything I've said, this is the number one most important thing. Learn to flow power to power. How many people in this room, show of hands, have done a live stream before? Show of hands. Okay. How many people that have done a live stream do a live stream at least once a day? Show of hands. Holy Mother of God. Okay. Houston, we have a problem. And everybody here owns a business, right? We've already, okay. See, I set you guys up for this. You have no idea what's coming.
I'm saying I've been to a lot of these events since 2019 when I met Bob Proctor, when I got on this journey to really understand how this works. And what I got today, I can't speak for anybody else, but I can only speak for myself. What I got today, this was the most powerful event I've attended. The information is truly life-changing. I'll tell you, I've heard this event's going to be life-changing. This event will change your life if you come, and anywhere from $9.99 to $15,000. I'm going to tell you what we got today, truly, if you received it. Now, tomorrow, again, just come with an open mind and expectancy of something that will literally shift your paradigm, your thinking, because we truly can have the most magical year ever in 2024, and that's my intention is that, but it's make 2024 be the year all about what would I love. So ask yourself, what would I love in 2024? And let's go make that happen, because it's possible.
Yes.
It's possible.
Come on with it!
I can't wait for the next event, man. I can't wait.
Huge 3rd and goal. Can they cash this in?
To have that association, to be known as that, it's an incredible honor, and I try every day to make sure the quality of my work lives up to it.
Love cover me, light any darkness. Love cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love cover me. Love cover me. Kindness wash over me. Make me a symphony. Play every note you can find. Make me reverberate, gently deactivate, slowly flow out of my mind. Find me a melody, dance and let my
I'm applauding the beautiful editing.
Thank you.
Well done, Ken. Really, really beautifully done.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Yeah.
I'm going to find a clip of Josh. I may have 1 or 2 or 10 of Josh singing, and I'm gonna plop him in there, and some other things that Glenn and I talked about. So because who doesn't want to sit and watch a 5-minute video?
Right. Well, I really believe that attention span changes proportionate to value provided.
Yes. Yes.
And when
Yes.
value is being provided, you'll have my attention all day long.
Yeah.
And if you're not bringing the heat, you're probably not going to get more than about 90 seconds of my interest.
That's right.
When I realize that there's nothing extraordinary going on. And meanwhile, look, we're all on the clock, Ken.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a down way, but we're all constantly waking up with less time than we had yesterday.
Yep.
Therefore, how I spend that time is very important to me. and I live with a heightened intentionality about who I hang with, right? Because that time is irretrievable. It just is. That's not a dark thought. It's not a pessimistic thought. It's not a morbid thought. It is healthy thinking based on the truth. So we like to provide value. It's what we believe in. It's what we would want to receive if we were seated. And so
Yeah.
it's important. You know, I saw the comment about Gary's voice. And Gary, of course, I found Gary. He was visiting at a church in Dallas the very week my stepfather, Harry Morshower, whose name I proudly carry today, but in 2005, when he passed, I was in church. We lived in LA at the time, but I was visiting a Dallas church, and Gary was the visiting musician. And I'd never heard anyone with a more heavenly voice in my life. And so
Look
I
who's
went
there.
over. I see Chad's comment. Yeah. Hey, Chad, good to see you, man. Welcome. So I decided I want to talk to this guy, and I was doing the extra mile around the country a handful of times a year, but I was doing it using CDs, playing music of friends of mine to provide, and well-known artists to provide the emotional massage aspect of it, to massage people's hearts into a readiness to hear the message. And music is very effective that way. We know that to be true. So long story short, I waited because I wanted to be the last person that Gary spoke to that day. And I didn't want to hold up anyone else behind us while we flapped our jaws.
Yeah.
So I came up and approached him, and we had a lovely talk, and I'll cut to the end of it, which is when I said, I've been doing this show called The Extra Mile around the United States, and I've been doing it with the discs of recorded music, and how would you like to go on the road with me live? And Gary said my favorite word, which is yes.
Yeah.
And we did. And I love and adore this man, and his music is phenomenal.
It is.
And I look forward to you all hearing Gary.
Yeah.
He is a dream come true, and he lives in Reno, and we are flying him in to play for you guys, and you're going to love it.
He has 12 albums. His music is incredible.
Look up Gary Lynn Floyd and please order his music.
Not just he has this presence, and I don't know how else to say it, just this energetic presence that you just want to hear him sing. And Josh is like that too. Josh,
without a doubt, Josh Mandrager is every bit as talented as Gary, and we look forward to having Josh as our headliner for a Ken and Glenn outing. I explained to Josh today in the car because he was riding with us. I don't explain things to people in a car unless they're riding with me. It's one of my oldest standing policies. If someone's not in the car, I don't turn to explain things to them.
That is a great policy to have.
Well, I've lived by it my whole life, Ken.
Sounds safe, actually.
Well, it sounds logical to me. Have you ever turned to explain things to people that aren't there?
I have, actually.
It's an empty feeling, Ken. It hurts.
It does. Especially when they don't respond.
Yeah, and I've yet to have them respond.
Yeah, that would be weird if they did.
But Josh was there, and him, it was interesting because right after I said what I said, he went, "Hey, I'm here. I heard you."
Yeah. Well, that's good.
I think in radio they call this dead air.
No, dead air is when it's just dead, I think.
Yeah, it's when you have nothing to say.
This is more.
But no, Josh has, Josh has the talent in his pinky finger that most people have in their entire body. He's an extraordinarily gifted artist. And you will see Josh Mandrager headlining with us. Right? We put music on a rotation, and Josh got that. He goes, well, of course, you don't want it to be the same artist every time.
Right. No.
And then as he turned away from me, he said, it's bad enough that they have to see your two asses every time, but he kept that to himself, which I thought was smart.
I don't see Josh saying that.
I made it up, Ken. That's why you don't see it.
Oh, okay.
71% of all statistics are made up on the spot, Ken.
Right then and there. Yeah. I've heard that.
Have we lost our audience, Ken? Are they still
No,
there?
we have a lot of people watching.
Good. Well, then let me tell them what's happening on March 15th, my friend, because
Oh,
that
God,
happened.
yes.
Oh, gosh.
March
Which
15th.
rhymes with Josh. Oh, gosh. That's happening before the April 6th and 7th event on Friday,
Yeah.
March the 15th. That is a week from. Good evening. Good evening.
Oh, that's Kelly
Oh,
Combs.
Chad Neller says the facial hair looks good on Aaron Pierce. It's not that, Chad. We have a new thing coming out. Ready? Everybody got a pen in hand? Or
Come
can
on.
you just remember the date?
Come on.
March the 15th. That's Friday. That's a week from this coming Friday
Yep.
on Apple TV. There is a new 7-episode mini series called Manhunt, which is about the 12-day search for John Wilkes Booth, the assassin of Abraham Lincoln. And when Abraham Lincoln was gunned down, the VP stepped into office. His name was Andrew Johnson. And Andrew Johnson became the 17th president of the United States.
Yep.
And I portray and was honored to have portrayed Andrew Johnson.
It's amazing.
So look to see that. It was the role of my life, the most challenging, the one that stretched me the most, the one that looked the most unlike me because they spent 90 minutes a day in the chair getting me ready. And the world is getting ready to meet that version of Andrew Johnson in 9 days. So Daddy is very, very excited about that.
So exciting, actually. It's very, very, very exciting. And I think I'm going to show everybody something. Just hang on a second. Everybody hang on. You don't want to miss this one. I'm just here to tell you, you don't want to miss what I'm fixing to show you. Hopefully I have Glenn's blessing to show this. Do you know what I'm fixing to show him, Glenn?
I don't know what you're going to show them, but I was fixing to show them something.
Well, I want to show him a side by side of.
Oh, you can do that. Let me show them the single first, which is what I was going to do.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So here,
Kelly says, congrats. Hang on. Let me give you full screen.
so
There
there
you are.
is President Andrew Johnson.
Yep.
Is it too blurry, Ken?
You just get it closer.
There you go. There it is.
Yeah. It's pretty decent. So what I'm getting ready to show him actually will be very clear. So
Now this one is minus the eyebrows, Ken. They
right.
put old man eyebrows on me.
Right. So Glenn originally sent me this picture and told me who he was playing. And I said, dude, hang on. I didn't say anything. You were literally out of town and you'd texted it to me. And then I went to Photoshop and I created this and here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. That's it right there.
So there you go. That's that
Glenn
was
is
right
on the
before
right.
they added the old man bushy gray eyebrows. But how about that for hair that's fake that looks like your own? I haven't had that much hair since the Carter administration.
That it's just absolutely unbelievable. So that comes out on Apple TV on March 15th.
Yes.
March 15th. Hey, Glenn, I didn't tell you about EB3.
Tell me about EB3.
I watched the Taylor Sheridan show.
Bass Reeves.
I watched.
And Earl Browning shined in that series.
He did. And I actually took a picture of it and sent it to him. I said, I'm literally watching.
Do you have that photo that we could look at too, Earl Browning on screen?
Chad says, nice hair.
Susan says it would have been funny if the hair were red like in your younger days.
Wow.
Okay.
Ouch.
I can't help but notice that it didn't say if it was red like your hair. What we heard was in your younger days.
That's funny, dude.
I'm only pretending to be offended. I'm at full. Look at this. There's all of my red hair. Look at these massive locks, right? There's massive locks.
Where is the? Oh,
Thank you, Sam. Samuel Sneed said, "No doubt you crushed that role, Glenn."
I can't
Yeah,
find
that's
the
cool. Thank
picture.
you. You can't find it.
Maybe I didn't send him a picture. I thought I did. Earl, didn't I send you a picture? Anyway, I thought I sent him a picture. I don't see it in our chat. I just looked.
Yes, you did. He just said, yes, you did.
Sam
Sneed said, I saw your hair on the Dukes of Hazzard. Wasn't it curly? Actually, that's one of the few shows where I did not comb what hair I had. And so, yes, that's true. It showed up curly. It also showed up curly in a movie called The Philadelphia Experiment. The only four curly-headed Glenn shows. The Philadelphia Experiment, 1984, with Michael Pare. Another one called Dead and Buried, 1980. And another one called A Few Days at Weasel Creek, a CBS television movie. Other than that, straight hair, immediately followed by no hair.
By the way, I want to tell everybody to go to kenandglenn.com to get your ticket to our event, April 6th and 7th. kenandglenn.com.
Josh says he's having a baby. He needs to go.
I love you both dearly. I need to go. Thank you for the love today.
You're
How
welcome,
many movies have you had roles in? Wow.
200. The answer is 273. 273. And
it's true.
Yeah, 273. We're excited. Things are good, Cam. We got a lot of good things coming up. For those of you who never saw the series The Resident, we're even excited about this. Today's the 6th.
Two days.
Right. Monday, which is the day. Monday was the day for you to get your life together, by the way.
Yes.
Everyone, how many of you knew that? That Monday was the day for you to have gotten your life together. You're 2 days late if you're trying to get your life together. Okay?
Really?
So let me tell you why. Monday was the day because it's the only day of the year that is also a command. March 4th. Okay? So hopefully you guys didn't let Monday slip by without understanding that you were being instructed to March 4th.
By the literal calendar.
Yes, the literal calendar is calling you out.
Yeah.
But March the 4th was the day that Netflix, in their infinite wisdom, decided to buy The Resident and start showing it. So if you missed The Resident on Fox, where you had to wait a week to see it, you can binge watch The Resident now on Netflix.
And can I say something about it?
Are you going to give us a plug?
I'm going to say, go watch it. It is such a great series. Now, I'm just going to be real. There is a point where I feel like it didn't stay the series that it was.
Mm-hmm.
It had a major shift. I'm not going to tell anybody when
you turn my camera off so that I can begin crying spontaneously, Ken, while you badmouth the show. Go ahead.
I'm not badmouthing it. It's a freaking phenomenal show. Are you kidding me?
I thought you were going to say it turned to doo-doo.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right, well, then I'll tear right up. Okay,
here
we go. I'm back.
It just had a shift. So, yes. Anyway, watch it. Go to Netflix. Go wherever you need to go, but go watch The Resident. It is so good. And Matt Zuckery is your son in the movie.
Yes, not in real life. I want everybody to know that I've fathered no other children other than Greg and Emily. Did you see what Chad Neller said? Did you see this on March 4th?
Kneller, like knife.
Yeah, Chad Kneller says that he is marching forth on March the 16th. There's a death march in New Mexico, 26.2 miles, and much of it through the sand.
Why?
And he's doing that.
Why?
I guess he wants to challenge himself. You and I will certainly be in our 72-degree homes watching it on television.
Right. Look,
probably with a cold beverage.
We have Laura Bramlett Wilkerson. We have Dr. Laura with us. We have Jennifer Moran is with us. What?
Wow.
What?
Ken, they're coming out of the woodwork tonight.
I mean, seriously, it's so hard to watch shows that are like my daily life, right? But you got to watch The Resident. It's so good. And when I had when I was in the hospital a couple years ago with the big, Glenn actually got. Can I say that? Can I tell that
Yes, you
story?
can. Our
He
run is over.
He got Matt Zuckery, he was on the.
He was
not
the star of the series.
He was on the other show too. He was the star, but he was on not the Golden Girls.
No, he was not on the Golden Girls. And if he were, I would have peeled him off of them.
What was the show he was on with the
Gilmore Girls?
Huh?
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls. There it is.
The fastest talking show on television.
Okay, so Matt sent me a video, texted it through Glenn to me, and hey Ken, it's Matt Zuckery, our mutual buddy. Glenn said that blah blah blah, and it was just phenomenal. It was so cool. So thank you, Matt. I know you're probably never going to watch this, but if you are, thank you. And Glenn, thank you for making that happen. That was awesome.
But I love you. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you, as evidenced by the fact that we do this show for free, right?
We do. However, we are asking and inviting all of you to come and join us. Go to kenandglenn.com. Come to our event, April 6th and 7th, right here in Dallas. The tickets are half of what they were at our first event, and it's because we're opening up to more people this time. And go get a general admission ticket if you want to be a VIP. There's only 14 or 13 seats left for the VIP. Go get the VIP. That means you get to have lunch and dinner with us on
Ken, here's
Friday
an interesting statistic. I'm reaching over here. I keep a deal here with a koala bear on it to remind me to live a koality life. So I've had this since I was 18. It's true. Live a koality life. So you have a koala bear. Anyway, it's a weird fun thing. But
I love it.
On my list of things right here, it says have Chad Kneller, tell the entire state of Tennessee to come to this event. It's right there in my note list.
There you go, Chad.
So Chad's been put on notice.
You've been tasked. So Glenn is actually going to do at our event. We really talked about a lot. We don't have the entire curriculum yet, but I normally cover a lot of technical stuff to help with social media and whatnot. Glenn is very, very inspiring, as you guys know. I'm quite inspirational as well.
You are.
But the one thing that we are going to really help a lot of people at this event is speaking and stage presence, and I'll just say it, there's not a better person on planet Earth to teach somebody how to speak than Glenn Morshower. And I mean that. Like, dude, I've seen you, I don't even know how many times, plus on here, on lives and in person on stage. You're unbelievable. The way that you just, you're just an amazing speaker. So Glenn's going to do some of that, how to structure your speech and stage presence and keeping the audience involved and all of that. So that's going to be exciting. He's going to do a whole segment on that at our event, which will be life-changing.
Let me brag on my baby brother, Ken Walls, now, if I may. Thank you for that. Received and appreciated. I want to say this. Do you know the primary reason? I think I've said this probably during one of our Ken and Glenn gatherings. I don't mean our upcoming show, but in this format when we're going online. Do you know my primary attraction to you? This is not a joke, so you don't have to freak. I don't have a punchline. I really mean it. My primary attraction to you is your genuineness. And it's interesting that in the speaker world, a lot of people listen very closely. All of you listen. a lot of people are great at pretending to be genuine, which there's a lot of irony there. The idea of pretending to be genuine,
Yeah.
but it's true. And then you realize when you meet the person back behind the curtain that what you saw out in front of the curtain was a performance.
Yep.
That's what it was. It's not who that person is. It's not an indicator of what you can expect at all. And
Right.
what you see is what you get. And that is true with both of us, which is why we're a really good match. We've been friends for 4 years. We don't see eye to eye on all matters. And that in no way, shape, or form interferes with our intimacy. Our
Nope.
closeness is not based on agreement. It's based on massive mutual respect. And you are, I'll put it this way, you're as genuine a person as I've ever known in my life. And
Thank
you have this very, very contagious, boyish smile when you chuckle in the middle of your dialogue and you do like this, like what I'm doing right now. And you do it all the time. And at the Ken and Glenn events, you're like, you guys are I gotta say this. I don't know where you learned that. But Ken is going to teach all of you how to laugh and talk at the same time.
I will.
You're really good at it.
Thank you.
What does this say?
Troy Aberley says, it's funny. I was just learning that over 97% of speakers leave stage not being what they teach.
Oh,
Dude,
come on with it.
come on with it. That is the truth. And I know a lot of them.
Do you know that only 14% of all people believe that statistic? Because they're uninformed. They just don't know that the statistic that you just read isn't accurate. I don't think that's an overestimation, Ken. I think that that's probably right on the money. Troy laughed at
Probably
my
true.
line about
It
14%.
may be less.
How about this? Do you know this, as long as we're throwing stats around? Do you know that 75% of merch back in the day, I can't speak to, current things, but when people would rush to the back of a speaker meeting, they would rush back to get merch, right? And especially DVDs.
Yes.
And a year later, how many of you are surprised to know this? 75% of those DVDs are still in the shrink wrap.
It's where shelf help came from.
Shelf help.
Shelf help. People buy books and DVDs and that stuff, and they put them on their shelf.
Right.
And never do anything with it.
Which means there's not any kind of interaction with it. So they hear good stuff. They want to add it to their lives, so they purchase it and then promptly don't implement it.
Brad
Leland is here. Hey, Brad.
Brad, how you doing? Yes, it's supposed to be self-help, but it becomes shelf help because they don't do anything. They put it on their shelf and they do nothing with it. It's
Which
just like our
very...
last event. Our last event, we had 30 unbelievably amazing people there. And I don't know what the percentage is, but I said it at our event. I said, here's the bottom line. No matter what room you walk into, the Pareto principle applies, period. And that is 20% of the people do 80% of the work. 20% of the people will do what they say they're going to do, which is a sad statistic. We had 100% of the people at our last event say, we're going to be there. Hopefully 100% show up. I don't know. As of right now, not 100% has signed up, but 100% of them said, I'll be at every Ken and Glenn event. That now, if you take the Pareto principle and apply that, and we all do it in various ways. We come up with excuses, and our excuses sell us on why we stay stuck. Our excuses, just like the speakers that we were just talking about and Troy brought up, it's their excuses that make them go, okay, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to shine on stage. I'm going to say all these great things. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to be an asshole, or I'm going to be this, or I'm going to be that, or I'm not going to be everything that I just told you to be because, my God, that's too much work. And who's got time for that? I'm a big time speaker. I can't go put in all that work and be a big speaker. And so that's what happens. And then they just eventually, as our friend Patricia Gigich likes to say, all of that BS, put your shirt down, All of that.
You don't mind if I take my shirt off because I get very aroused when you start
No,
ranting.
stop. All of that.
No, when you rant, it turns me on. I gotta tell you.
Dude, all of that BS karmically will catch up with them eventually. I know so many people that are so good at saying one thing, but they do another. They lie, they cheat, and they steal, and they don't sleep very well at night. They have to anesthetize themselves. They're addicted to drugs and alcohol. A lot of these people, we've seen it in the speaker world. We've seen it in the music world. We've seen it all over the place. If you just would stay in integrity and do what you say you're going to do.
Yes.
Seriously.
Did you see what the boys are saying? Brad is saying that he's aroused as well. And Chad is saying someone needs to pass Glenn a cold glass of water.
Watch help is self-help. Accidental texting. Yeah, Jill was telling me that Brad told her about Accidental Texan opens up this weekend. I don't know what it's about, but it's a new movie coming out.
Hey, Ken, I've got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you purchase merch and it winds up, let's do it with this hand, and it winds up here.
Yeah.
Could that be described as shellfish behavior?
It could be.
Does that seem shellfish? It does to me.
It's a little shellfish.
I think everything up here is shellfish.
It's very shellfish.
All right.
Yes.
Thoughts? Drop a 1 if that seems shellfish.
It does. Look, here's the bottom line. I want to see. We went from Glenn and I were going to just do small private events of 20, 30 people, charge big bucks for it. Plenty of people that would pay to be there. But we decided we wanted to do more. We wanted to help more. We wanted to have more people. You guys, you don't even understand. We were at lunch today, and I'm standing at we stopped and had a hole in the wall. Second best hamburger in all of Dallas, Texas.
That was good, Ken.
You like that? You like that? So look, Chad says, what about
people who are allergic to shellfish?
Oh, look, we have a husband and wife team on here. Don't let Chad fool you. He's over here panning. He's
a little turned on by your rant as well, Ken. So I'm not the only one who gets aroused when you rant. People are aroused all the time. We love to hear you go off.
So I'm going to go off again because.
Hey, how about this, Ken? I get off when you go off. Come on with it.
Oh.
No? Too soon?
Oh, God. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Glenn Morshower.
Wait a minute. I am the president of the United States, and you have cut me off 3 straight times. Mo loved it. I get off when you go off. Come on.
Oh my God,
that's good so stuff.
Funny. Oh, I love you, dude. So listen, I just have to make this point, and I think I've lost it now. No, I haven't. So look, Jerice, this live took a turn. It did. So here's the thing. I'm at the Coke machine, waiting on my turn. And there's this short guy, this super tall guy, and they're talking to each other. They're friends. And the short guy looks at the tall guy, and this isn't a joke. And he goes, "Hey, do you see that guy over there in the booth, in the first booth? Doesn't he look familiar?" And the guy's like looking, and he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Who is that guy? Who?" And I go, "That's Glenn Morshower." And he goes, "What?" I go, "Glenn Morshower." He goes, "How do I know him?" I go, 270 movies and television shows. He goes, "Oh my God." I go, "Yep. That's my best friend." He goes, "That is freaking cool." And I just walked up, and here's the thing. People don't realize, because familiarity breeds contempt. Familiarity breeds contempt. People that have seen you on my show, that have seen you on the Ken and Glenn show, that have seen you, that they don't realize how much of a freaking superstar you are, dude. You are. Back up. Let everybody see. But you are.
It gets
I
a little
think,
embarrassing when you talk about me like this, Ken.
I
went
but
into a little bit of
listen,
a shame pose.
it's not just that though. It's your freaking, like, you're a great actor, but that's not where your talent is. I'm sorry.
You've made this clear to me, and I didn't take offense because I don't disagree with you. In fact, I appreciate you and I thank you. And I think
your
you're going to
talent
see evidence
is
of what you said.
Your talent is what you did at the last event you and I had, when somebody was talking about being being abused as a child. And do you remember what you said to her without mentioning her name? Do you remember what you said to her?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I
Changed
asked
her life.
I asked for her permission to comment on it.
Yes.
I didn't just barge into her emotional privacy. I said, may I offer you some feedback, some help, right? Because I knew it would be helpful to hear this. And I said, these things did not happen to you. They happened to her. And man, the room fell silent.
And
everybody in the room simultaneously understood what I was saying. That when we are constantly connecting the dots, and we call it present tensing the past, when you present tense the past, then you are going to be under the influence of the thing you're constantly regurgitating, as though it just happened. And it didn't. It may have happened 35, 40 years ago. But when we're always telling the story from a present tense modality, then we're re-experiencing the trauma, and it stays on this never-ending gerbil wheel, right? And that's the problem. We have to disconnect and realize that there are things, let me word it this way, Ken, excuse me, there are things that happened to the caterpillar version of me, but how dare me talk about them daily and ruin my butterfly existence?
Thank you.
I'm not a caterpillar anymore.
Yep.
I'm a butterfly, and these things didn't happen to the butterfly. They happened to the caterpillar. Yep. I'm grateful for everything I've gone through and everything I've learned, but I'm not him anymore. And if I look back and notice, I will see wings and understand that it is time for the butterfly to become airborne and not live as though I don't have wings.
Thank you.
And this is so true for people to really understand and accept that we are in today.
Yeah.
So be in today with us. Be in today. Dude. That's all.
That you changed some lives when you said that. And most people don't come at it from that perspective. And that's one tiny little moment in time over the 2.5 days. It was phenomenal. We had people crying at the end that they didn't want to leave. They did not want the event to end. And even including me, I didn't want
I don't want to diminish how true that was, but I should probably let you know, Ken, I should probably let you know as your best buddy that I only saw about half the room crying early on. So I made a phone call, if I can confess. And we had a little dude come over from Benihana restaurant who was feverishly chopping onions and had a small fan that Carolyn had placed in front of this crazy activity. And those fumes were going on. And like that, the rest of the audience began crying.
It was
magical. And it looked so spontaneous that, wow, we got thunder. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
We got a thunderstorm coming in, man. I love that.
Oh, I didn't know if you were making that up too.
No. But anyway, half the audience that didn't seem to be emotionally involved, once our employee from Benihana came in and the waft of the chopping onions came in, then they were all on that same emotional page, or at least looked like they were.
Wow. Look, Chad said, I talked to a group yesterday, Glenn, about what you taught me. that we are all champions from birth. We won the race against 400,000.
It's actually 400 million, not
sperm.
thousand.
Yeah. 400 million. We just have to, that's something I talk about a lot is, look, here's the thing. There is a 1 in 270 million-ish chance of you winning the lottery. Yet millions of people will go out and play the lottery. Millions of people go out every week and play the lottery. There is a 1 in 400 trillion chance of you being born. Of you being like the moment that the sperm and the egg meet, and then the cells start replicating and duplicating and creating this. God creates this being, and about week 7, I think it's week 7, when the heartbeat just magically appears. They can't figure out where it comes from. The scientists have watched it. They're watching it, recording it, and then boom, just out of nowhere, the heartbeat appears at 7 weeks. And then you turn in. So there's a 1 in 400 trillion chance of you being born. And you put more effort into playing the freaking lottery than you do into winning and planning your life. And that's what our event is about. That's what our event is about.
I think our event can be summed up in 3 words, Ken. You've already won.
Amen.
You've already won. You think about all of the chasing that goes on in this lifetime. Chasing this and chasing that. And when this happens, then I'll feel good. When that happens, when I own the new house, when I get the new car, when I get a new boyfriend or girlfriend, when I get a wife, when I get a younger wife, when I get more money in the bank, it's always when this, then this. The time is now, and you've already won. You've already won. That's already occurred. So sound the trumpets. Let the celebration begin. What are you waiting for? The clock is ticking. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Do you know that if you took your quality list, right, if you went and got yourself a quality book here and listed everything in your life that was wonderful, everything that was life that was wonderful and has been wonderful, if it might not be currently going on, but once upon a time it existed for you and it's left its imprintings, list everything that you esteem. I esteem that to be wonderful. The fact that I can breathe, the fact that I can look over and see my buddy Ken, the fact that we saw Nick recovering in the hospital today. Oh my gosh, it's endless. We could sit here and talk the entire night about the blessings in our lives, the wonderful things that are so. It's unending. And then what do we have? We have 2 or 3 things that are upsetting to us, right? And even if you have a lot, you've got like a dozen things that you think really suck about life. Look at the proportional difference that you have overwhelming reasons to feel great, and you have 3 or 4 to not feel so great. Why would you feed the extreme minority of your life as though the minority were the majority? I don't understand that. It is perspective, Chad. You're exactly right. You're 100% right. It's all perspective. So if we focus, there's a saying about what we focus on increases. It's a metaphysical truth. So where we place our attention, we talk a lot about that in our program, is that where we place our attention, things grow, things expand based on what we're focusing on. So if we're focusing on the negativity, if we're focusing on, and it might even be one thing.
Yep.
It might not even be 4 or 5 or a dozen or 20. It might be one thing that we think is rotten about either life in general or our lives. Okay, so now it somehow seems wise to me to obsess over that, and at the complete exclusion of everything else that I could be rejoicing in. Everything. I don't understand that. And our brains were wired to think in a wiser manner than that. So the idea is to run with healthy people, hang out with people that are making healthy choices and that are encouraging you to be the finest expression of you that is available. And I will add to it, Ken, that was intended with our lives.
Yep.
I don't think you're a cosmic accident. I know I'm not. I know you're not.
No.
I don't think the fact that we met was a cosmic accident.
No
I don't
way.
think the fact that people are watching us tonight is a cosmic accident. There are people here that are finding value in this, and
Yep.
they are connecting with one another. I mean, this started, I was on the phone when you reached out to me with my dear friend Victoria, who I don't know if she's still wide awake, but over in Germany.
Switzerland.
And we were no, Germany. She was in
I thought
Germany
she was in
tonight.
Switzerland. Okay.
She lives in Switzerland, but she was in Germany tonight, and we were on a Zoom call, and then lo and behold, you called, and we were talking about Nick because she knows Nick, and she is coming from Switzerland to the event again. She's made 3 trips to the United States in the first 4 months of 2024. Mind blowing.
20 years old.
Excuse me. I want to correct that. 2 trips since 2024, but she was here last summer. So within the last, we'll call it like 7 months, she had never been to the United States. And now it will be her 3rd trip over here because of the love that she receives and the positivity of the people that we run with.
Yep.
And it's heavenly for her, and it's worth flying overseas to be in its energetic field.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And you know, I'm just look. I see so many people that, and you do too. We've had these conversations. People that live in this place of lack of abundance, lack of everything. And so they say things, gosh, I would love to come to your event, but I just can't afford it right now. I had some extra things. You live in an unlimited, abundant world. Figure it out. If you were thrown in jail and your bail was $2,000, you'd figure out a way to make that happen. I'm just saying, like, figure it out. It's exactly what you were just saying. Focus on what you want. Come to our event, hang out with us and the other amazing people that we're going to have there, and you'll leave a different person. I promise you. You're going to leave there a completely changed person. So,
are we going to perform what might best be described as an emotional lobotomy on our attendees, Ken?
You can say that again.
Do you think we'll be performing an emotional lobotomy on our guests, our attendees?
Yes. Yes.
I just said it again for your instruction.
Spiritual. They're like Patricia Gigich is doing the karmic art experience, and it's a life-changing thing. It is a life-changing thing. She's sitting here saying that it's going to be totally mind-blowing. The first one was mind-blowing. We've got Brad Sham. We have everybody else that's coming to this. You guys need to get on board and be at this event for real. Don't just drop your excuses and come to the event.
Hey, Ken, I want to send Brad Leland my love. Random, just want to do that. So, Brad, I love you. I'm grateful for you. I thank God for you. And I wish you the best at all times and want you to know that. I'm glad awesome. Brad's here.
I love Brad. Luana says people focus more on what they can't do rather than what they can do. We are mightier than we imagine. Thank you very much. You're correct.
Well, there are reasons. First of all, that's true, but it's not people's fault. It's based on what they were exposed to. And probably one of the most damaging phrases, my brother Ken, that was ever said, and we all heard it, and many of us were pummeled with it, was the phrase, "Don't be too big for your britches. Don't be too big for your britches," which was their way of downloading the societal imprinting of stay small.
Yep.
Stay small. Don't you outgrow those britches, as though there were one size of britches that was issued to all of society, and you don't dare outgrow them. Stay small. If you outgrow your britches, you're going to start making people uncomfortable.
Yep.
And so it's an interesting thing that forces people to buy into their smallness instead of their bigness. And I would say the opposite of that. Decide what britches you want to wear in this lifetime. And whatever size britches, you don't have to buy a big pair. You don't have to do that. You're fine in whatever size you're comfortable with, but you should never feel awkward about outgrowing your societally issued britches. If you outgrow them, trade them in and get a new pair of britches. Somebody will wear the old pair. They'll be grateful for them.
That's it. That's it. I agree. Listen, we need to wrap it up.
Yeah, I got to go to dinner.
And
It's already 10:17, and we haven't even eaten dinner tonight because I was excited about joining you.
Wow. That's incredible. Well, listen, everybody go to Ken and Glenn with 2 N's, kenandglenn.com and get signed up, get a ticket, get your seat. Don't regret not being there. Don't live in that regret. It's a quick flight to Dallas. There's hotels everywhere. Texas, the day after, by the way, our event ends on the 7th, and on the 8th is the eclipse, and Texas is the focal point of the North Texas is where you're going to see the eclipse the best and experience it the best is right here in North Texas. And you'll already be here. Extend your visit for another day and watch it. It's going to be amazing.
Ken, I don't think you're pushing it too much to suggest that on that date, on April the 8th, that North Texas will be the center of the universe for about 2 minutes. For about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can get your specialty glasses on sale at almost any local Ace Hardware store for $2.99. How do I know? Because I bought 4 pair.
Oh my gosh.
4 pair. And that's so that I could have my mother watch them, Care watch them, and you watch them, and without French frying the circuitry of our eyeballs. We don't want to.
Look, Brad Leland's inviting you over for dinner.
He's a great cook. Oh, that's nice, Brad. Thank you, buddy. We're going to grab something out of the fridge.
Yeah.
But, I love you all. Ken, next time we do a live, which probably we want to do another one this week sometimes as we march toward the date. Let's just swap the N count in our names and have it be KENN and only have me 1 N and just see if anybody notices. Okay, that's an unappealing idea to you. Let's end on that sour note, shall we? Here, let's show them the logo one more time, dude. Come on.
Hi,
and And I'm Glenn, and together we are
Ken
and Glenn. We do this clever little online show called the
Ken
and Glenn Show. You've been watching us. We are
Ken
and Glenn. Give them our outro, Ken. Give them the outro.
Hey guys, love you all.
Peace, guys. Thanks and good night.